Well, good morning to you. Thank you for choosing KTN News to inform you, even as we interrogate the latest developments today on the 9th day of May. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and we just want to encompass some of the top stories our various desks right here at Standard Group will be following up for you in the course of the day. And in that note, let's just start off the diary on the political desk, where reporter Emmanuel Tor is on standby with the day's political events. Emmanuel Tor, let's get right to it. Of course, a lot happening in the political world, but sharp focus on the running mate decision. I think it's barely 8 days till that particular deadline set by IEBC reaches. What's the latest in the political field?
Well, thank you very much, Jesse, and of course to our viewers. That question is the biggest question today, and it begins to be answered today. The questions are being asked from today, and of course before that official deadline of the 16th of May, which is next Monday, exactly 1 week before that. But for the ODM party and of course the Azimio One Kenya political party, this process is supposed to be concluded tomorrow, the 10th of May, where the selection panel that is supposed to come up with the 3 names to be given to the ODM leader Raila Odinga is supposed to conclude that process by tomorrow. And there are interviews that have been scheduled to begin this morning and tomorrow before the list is completed. And remember, the 11 candidates already who have been shortlisted for that process or that interview. And this is after the list was amended. It was previously 7 members, 8 members, then 11 members. But a close focus will be on the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka as to whether he will show up for that interview, because he has stuck to his guns, saying that he will not show up for any interview to interview him to be Raila's running mate or to be the deputy of Raila in the coming general election. And of course, he said that this is going to demean him. And his foot soldiers have maintained, and they have been speaking from yesterday and days before yesterday, that they cannot allow the person who served in the same capacity to come and interview for the same role. Remember, Kalonzo was the vice president between 2008 to 2013 under the Kibaki regime. And of course, that is going to form basis of that discussion. But the selection panel that is led by former Minister Noah Wekesa has maintained that it will continue with the interviews with or without Kalonzo. But the biggest question will be, will they be able to consider Kalonzo even if he doesn't show up for that interview? And will Kalonzo at last just swallow his words and come for the interview? That is the question that you wait to see whether that will be answered. But on the same point, the Kenya Kwanza team is also very embroiled in that situation, because they also have a week. They have not given deadlines as of Azimio that they will be having the running mates this week, but they are going to comply with the deadline, which is the 16th of May. And at the same point, we expect that some more deadlines will be coming in. Remember, it is exactly 3 months before the August 9 general election, and today marks that very critical journey where the parties are supposed to hand in their nomination lists to the IEBC, but the IEBC has maintained that those lists must be gender compliant, and I'm speaking about 2/3 gender rule. And that means that at least 31 members of the counties are supposed to be, are not supposed to be coming from one gender. And of course, that is the minimum that is there, and the rest should come from a different gender. And in the National Assembly, 193 out of 290 should also be considered. And of course, that is the question that is going to be answered today, because that list needs to be submitted by the end of the day. At the same time, the ODM chief Raila Odinga will be in Kajiado County as he continues with his campaigns to woo the Ma community and woo the Ma vote ahead of that August 9 general election. Remember, the region has been a very hotly contested one, and the Kenya Kwanza team is also trying to get a share of that region. And finally, the Kenya Kwanza team will be in Samburu County, Wampa, if I could say that. That is the area where they will be continuing to drum up support for the Kenya Kwanza team led by the Deputy President William Ruto. Remember, the Governor Moses Lenokulal moved to Kenya Kwanza team a few months ago, and of course this is going to form a basis of whether they'll be able to convince the region to rally behind Deputy President William Ruto. So that is the much we have from the political front. Over to you, Jesse.
Okay, Emmanuel Tor, before I let you go, let me just take you back to that big story on the running mate position. even as we clarify the state of that 7-member selection panel or committee that was set up to come with a couple of names to give to Raila Odinga, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance presidential candidate. How good is the relation within that 7-member committee? Because we had Senator Enoch Wambua, is it, who mentioned that perhaps they will not be used to rubber stamp an already predetermined decision. No Kalonzo, no Raila. We've heard of those sentiments over and over again.
Yeah, definitely, Jesse. There are several issues in that committee, but the Azimio Council, of course, the team led by the Secretary General, that is Suna East MP Junet Mohammed, yesterday held a press conference to allay any fears that there are any divisions or any cracks in that panel. But what is out there is that Enoch Wambua, the senator for Kitui, has maintained that if it is not Kalonzo, then there's no Raila. And that will mean that they've also said that they will not be giving their vote if Kalonzo is not elected or nominated to be Raila's presidential running mate. And of course, that is the basis of that discussion. And yesterday we did a story and he said that he will leave that panel if they insist that it is not going to be Kalonzo to be the running mate. And of course, that has also sparked a lot of outcry and of course, debate from the affiliate parties of the Azimio coalition. And we've seen the Odium party, the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna yesterday, of course, putting Kalonzo on notice that he cannot have his cake and eat it, and also maintaining that if he wants to be part of those who will be nominated, he has to be on the panel that is going to be interviewing the rest of the candidates. And of course, this is going to form a lot of discussions around that. And the other parties have also continued to cry foul, including the governors from Ukambani, because they're saying that Kalonzo has come in and taken over all the activities that they were supposed to do or to take over. And today, we also expect the Maendeleo Chapter party leader, that is Machakos Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua, to give another statement, or of course a clarification as to whether he's going to continue being in Azimio coalition or he's going to leave, or just putting everything in perspective, because they have been crying foul all through, including Governor Kivutha Kibwana, the governor of Kitui, yesterday coming up with a tweet saying that the ODM chief should not allow democracy or the smaller parties to be trampled upon. And of course, this is the question that is going to be answered today, Jesse.
Well, so much to talk about, so little time. Emmanuel Toh just coming to us live with some of the updates we can expect in the course of the day and the week. The big story being the running mate question, and that deadline by IEBC on May the 16th is fast approaching.